Welcome to another episode of the Hot Seat Pod, brought to you by the Run the Play Network. Will's not here. Today we're going to be going into the AFC and NFC Championship Series predictions. But before we do that, I'm going to have a timestamp here. If you're new to the channel, you want to skip this. But I got a little announcement that I want to make for you guys. So obviously, as you guys know, if you're following the channel, we've been grinding a lot. We posted 600 videos in the last year, I want to say. We just hit 2.3 thousand subscribers, and I thank you guys gratefully for that. Unfortunately, though, Wilson's got some other business to handle right now. I got some other business to handle once my semester officially starts in February. So after the Super Bowl episode will probably be the last episode of the Hot Seat Podcast for, I'm hoping it's 2 to 3 months, but I'm not about to promise nothing because I don't really know what this semester is going to entail. But that doesn't mean you guys aren't going to see me at all. I'll still be on You Know Ball. I'll still be behind the scenes with Joseph's podcast. I'm considering doing live streams for certain events during the NFL offseason, but there's just nothing planned for sure. I want to keep short-term content going for the NFL, but as far as like full-length Hot Seat podcast episodes, I just don't really have time for that, at least to start the semester. Once the ball gets rolling a little bit, then I'll be able to come back, give you guys more. So don't expect me to be gone until the summer. I'll be back before then, I promise. But yeah, that's just kind of, it sucks because, you know, we've been doing this for 2 years and this is like the first official break I've taken. We traveled to Europe and we bulk recorded a bunch of episodes. Like, we've really been grinding, and I do really appreciate you guys. I mean, if you told me a year when we started this and we uploaded 20, 30, 40, 50 videos and only got 30 subscribers, I didn't think we'd be at this point at all. So I do want to thank you guys heavily for that. Now 600 videos in and we're sitting on 2,000, man. Like, it is a crazy journey that we went on. I mean, we got a whole set now. We got some nice mics, good camera. We got people behind the scenes just working on short-term content for us, like a sponsorship, shout out Boom. Like, a lot of that is huge. But yeah, let's get into this. Enough of the pity party. If you skipped that, good for you. Congratulations. But we got some AFC and NFC championship games to talk about. Let's start with Bills Chiefs, okay? So on Saturday, the Chiefs beat the Texans. I was sad, obviously, being that I'm a Houston Texans fan. I'm not the type to blame the refs because people have been talking about that for the Chiefs all season. I haven't done that once, and I haven't given other teams that, so I'm not going to do that for Houston. There was definitely mistakes that were made in that Houston game. We ran the ball a lot, a little too much because CJ was playing very well. I would have liked to see the ball in CJ's hands a little more. Our O-line, everyone acted like our O-line was trash. It was trash in the second half. In the first half, we actually held up very well. Kai Fairbairn, bro, like, I feel like every big game we have, he just is unsuccessful. I kind of want us to address that position in the offseason. But as far as like a team goes, you know, I wanted us to beat the Chiefs. I predicted us to beat the Chiefs. But it just wasn't in the cards this season, and that's totally fine. Next season, hopefully we'll draft fucking 7 O-linemen, one every round. And our team, other than that, I feel like is so strong. We should have everyone back next season. So I was cool with that. And then the Bills, unfortunately, beat the Ravens, man. And honestly, I think I was more mad at this one. I don't know if it was because the Texans had already lost, and now I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to root for the Ravens. It's my last hope. But I was definitely more sad about the Bills beating the Ravens because I just wanted to see Lamar win, man. I just wanted to see all these narratives get shut down about him being a choker. And then a lot of that game, I know he fumbled. I know he threw that interception. Those were nasty for sure. But I feel like if that was like a Joe Burrow or a CJ Stroud or a Caleb Williams, like, we would have blamed the O-line there. Both plays, he was completely blown up. There was a miscommunication with Bateman. The fumble, obviously, it was just pressure got to him. He's like one of the most secure quarterbacks all season. I still think he's the MVP of the regular season for sure. And I think he outplayed Josh Allen as well. But with that being said, man, like, the Bills did beat them fair and square. The Bills defense came to play. Matt Milano looked really good, and now they're going to be going against Kansas City, who's a 2-point favorite at the time of this recording. The total is 47.5. I don't know if I would take the over or under on this game. I feel like the Chiefs offense hasn't been putting up points. The Bills defense looked good, and the Bills don't run it up at all. I mean, Josh Allen, early in the season was slinging the rock. Late in the season, his passing line yesterday was 240. I took the under, it hit. I've been taking the under on his passing because he doesn't sling as much as he should because they have James Cook now. Yesterday, James Cook, Ray Davis, and Ty Johnson really impressed me. That run game looked really good. I would lean into that. And then when you need Josh Allen to bail you out, have him bail you out. But keep his legs fresh, man. If calls are bad in this game, I feel like people are going to be so up in arms, like at a different level, because everyone loves Josh Allen. The Bills beat the Chiefs earlier in the season, so you could always say, like, oh, see, when the calls were normal, look what the Bills did and all that. So I just hope that they ref a clean game. We definitely need ref post-game interviews. Like, I want to hear what they have to say. And also, I don't think that there should be rules about finding players who talk shit about the refs. Might be a hot take. I know the refs do their job, but the refs also get paid a lot. The same way these players get paid a lot, they should be able to get criticized. That plain and simple, really. Matt Milano was a very essential key in that in that Bills win on Sunday. He looked so good. I think he's going to do a really good job on Patrick Mahomes. I saw people on Twitter. Someone said everyone wants to talk about the calls, but Patrick Mahomes runs through dudes like Derrick Henry. Like, let's chill the fuck out because Matt Milano's going to meet him in the middle and probably blow his ass the fuck up. So we're looking forward to that game. I feel like this is the game that everyone's going to be rooting for the Bills. I don't love the Bills. I don't love the Chiefs. So I'm really rooting for the NFC side. Last time the Bills beat the Chiefs in Week 11, Mahomes turned the ball over twice. I don't think that's going to happen in this game. I think Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs plays a very clean game. Very clean game. That's one thing. Like, whether you love him, hate him, think he's overrated, whatever, you got to give him the credit there. He plays football in a very clean way. He's not going to turn the ball over twice in this game. I don't see that happening. I don't believe that's going to happen. Especially Taylor Rapp is probably going to miss this game. The Bills had another corner go down too. He's probably going to miss this game. So it's going to be ugly. I believe it was Teron Johnson who went down, not Benford. But that could be a problem, especially if Mahomes does it. He's not going to make mistakes, but the Bills' O-line, on the other hand, I think has been playing out of their fucking mind. They played so good against the Ravens. I want to see how this Chiefs pass rush goes against this Bills O-line. That's probably the matchup to watch. Whoever wins that matchup wins that game. If the Chiefs could start disrupting a little bit, then I think they definitely can win this game. If the Bills hold them off and now you're playing coverage, even though they have, the Chiefs secondary is very good, but it doesn't really matter because the Bills receivers aren't going to beat you like that. Sure, maybe Khalil Shakir catches a big ball here or there, but they're going to beat you underneath. They're going to beat you slow and let Josh Allen make that big play to kind of take the top off at a certain point, but they're going to beat you underneath first to get to that point. So I don't know how much the Chiefs secondary matters. I think it's about the O-line versus the D-line, especially Chiefs D-line versus the Bills O-line in this game. All I know is every time these two teams play, it's a fucking banger of a game, and I'm expecting that next Sunday. I'm taking the Chiefs here, though. I hate to do it. I'm rooting against them. I know I said I want the three-peat, not anymore, bro. After they beat the Texans, I kind of checked myself. But I'm thinking Chiefs win here.
Man, okay, LeBron hit my parlay. Let's get it.
Oh, shit, he hit it?
Yeah, bro. Look at this.
I won $200. I tailed your parlay.
How the heck did you win $200?
I used Boom Fantasy. I used their pick and spin, spun the wheel, got 10 times my money.
Bro, you got to hook me up.
If you use code RTP, you could get a risk-free bet up to $100. Let's get back to the video.
Let's go to the NFC. Let's talk about the Eagles beating the Rams. There was a lot of excuses from Rams fans in this game, and that's just something that I don't love to hear, man. The snow was one of them. Matthew Stafford's from Detroit. Kyron Williams, sure, he lost the ball twice. He has 7 fumbles on the season. Saquon has 8 in his career. Really think about that. And I get he's younger and all that, but those weren't great excuses. He fumbles the ball a lot, it happens. And then as far as the Commanders beating the Lions goes, they lost Ben Johnson. I don't know what's next for the Lions. I don't think it's the end-all be-all. I still think Dan Campbell's a great coach with or without Ben Johnson. We just got to see it in action now. It's going to be interesting for sure. But they just got too injured. You could definitely talk yourself into next season them being good. To me, if I'm being completely honest, from a head-to-toe roster-wise, this team healthy is the best team in the NFL. If they had Aiden Hutchinson out there was just like Terrion Arnold is your cornerback one in the fucking NFL playoffs. Like, that's not going to work. It's really not going to work. But, hey, if one thing is for sure, I told you so. I called it. I said the Commanders were going to win, and look what they did. They went out there, and they hooped. That offense is so good. That defense is underrated. I mean, I know they gave up 35 points, but forcing those turnovers is how you win those games. The big plays are going to happen. You're playing against Jared Goff, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Like, you're going to give up big plays, but it's stopping those possessions that could lead to scores. That's what it's all about. Forcing those turnovers, big plays. It was a hell of a game. It was a fun watch. It felt like everyone was united here. I feel like everyone's united right now on Team Washington. So let's talk about this game. Commanders-Eagles. Eagles lead the Commanders 90-85 all time. Commanders lead the Eagles. Commanders have beaten the Eagles more times than the Eagles have beaten the Commanders. As someone who's a little bit younger, I didn't get to watch the 90s Commanders, but I'm thinking that's where a lot of that success came from. But right now, Philadelphia is a 5.5-point favorite. The total is the same as the Chiefs-Bills game at 47.5. Are we going to get a Zach Ertz revenge game? Are we going to get a Jahan Dotson revenge game? We don't know. So one of those guys is going to score. If you got a first touchdown parlay, throw one of those guys in it for sure. But I'm going to tell you guys this right now. These championship games are probably going to be better than any Super Bowl outcome we could get. If we're being for real. Like this, these are two amazing games. Two teams, whether they're in division or not in division, that I feel like very much hate each other. There's real Bills-Chiefs beef. There's real Eagles-Commanders beef. It's going to be fun, man. I got a friend who's an Eagles fan. Shout out Christian. Started the pod with us. He hates Jaden Daniels. I don't know nobody that hates Jaden Daniels, man. But he absolutely hates Jaden Daniels. So it's a little interesting. I'm excited to see what this game has. But Jaden Daniels is going to have to play a perfect game for them to beat the Eagles. Now, saying that isn't me putting pressure on Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels has done this before. He did this the last time that they beat the Eagles where he turned it up in that second half. He did this against Detroit. He really made no mistakes in that game. It's interesting. And I think he can do it, but this Eagles defense is going to be probably the toughest defensive unit they've gone against, playing against the Buccaneers defense, that beat up Lions defense. Now it's going to be a completely kind of different change of pace game. Sure, Darius Slay has been playing out of his mind. Quinion Mitchell might miss this game. But the real players that have been not surprising me, but showing out for me is Zach Bond and Jalen Carter. They've just been problems every play. And I think that kind of works out for the Commanders because they don't run the ball. They don't run the ball at all. Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler are not getting the work that they were expected to get to start the year. They're not getting the work that a playoff caliber running back should get. So I feel like the D-line isn't going to affect them as much as it probably could or probably should. But the Eagles defense has been shut down this playoffs. The problem, though, I have with the Eagles is they shut off sometimes. And they're like, all right, we're up a score, 4 minutes left. Like, we could take the foot off the gas a little bit. I know Saquon had that big run, but he shouldn't even have needed that big run to secure the game. They should have closed that game out pretty easily. I don't think you could do that against the Commanders. I think the Commanders can make plays the Commanders are a more serious threat than the Rams, okay? As a LA guy, the Commanders are a more serious threat than the Rams because if you let your foot off the gas, they could give you 14 like that. They give you 14 like that very quick. And then this defense is filled with a veteran presence, with Bobby Wagner, with Marshawn Lattimore. They just got dudes. They are going to be a problem versus the Eagles. I'm telling you, this 5.5 spread, I might take Commanders plus 5.5. I'm curious how much the snow could affect Washington in this game. But honestly, Jaden Daniels has shown me that he is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback on this run. This is a very similar run to what Joe Burrow went on. And if they can knock out this team, I mean, you beat the Eagles, you beat the Lions in the same playoff run. I don't see how you could come into a Super Bowl scared or as a heavy underdog. If they played the Bills or the Chiefs, dude, I feel like this team is more well-rounded than any of those teams from the offensive end to the defensive end. They just have everything. Their O-line holds up well. Their running backs sure are weak, but you have Jaden Daniels who's damn near a perfect quarterback. Maybe I'm glazing a little bit, but he doesn't make any mistakes. I'm going to take the Commanders and Chiefs to end up as the Super Bowl matchup. But you guys let me know at home. Who do you think is going to make the Super Bowl? Who do you want to win? And then comment down below if you're going to miss us when we go on hiatus after the Super Bowl. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, but most importantly, run the play, baby. Boom.